2026 World Cup qualifying tournament continues from Wuhan, China, where teams are chasing a ticket to Germany in September. Alongside former Australian World Cup and Olympic women's assistant coach Laurie Chiswick, I'm John Casey. It's great to have your company here on day 3. We start with a crucial contest between Brazil and Czechia before the undefeated Belgium team takes on Mali, and we finish tonight with the host nation China facing South Sudan. And Laurie, the pressure here is starting to build.
Well, it is. If you want to book that ticket, this is a crucial game for both these teams going into battle. We have to assume that, well, we know that Belgium have already qualified for the Women's World Cup in September. So this is a really vital game for both of these teams.
So South Sudan, without a win, are going to find it difficult to try and get from their position into the top 4. The top 4 teams are going through here. Belgium, as Laurie mentioned, already qualified as European champions. So you can see the importance of this game illustrated there. Number 9 in the world, Brazil, and Czechia at number 17. And they'll be disappointed with their effort yesterday, Czechia, because against Mali, who are lower ranked than them, they lost by 13. They won one of only the 4 quarters, and they just really didn't get their game going.
Well, I thought a real key to them, or a lack of it, was their rebounding. They got out-rebounded. They just didn't have the possession game that they needed to have, and so it was really important, I think, that they come out in today's game and try and dominate the boards. However, that is going to be a big ask against some of the Brazilian players in Cardoso and Dantas.
Yes, 28-44 was the rebound count yesterday against Mali, who did play very well. But the size issue, as you say, could be a problem for them, because Czechia, well, they have Chikova and Singarona as their 2 bigs, but Chikova is only lightly built while she's the tallest, and the 2 Brazilian opponents for them today, well, they are strong, powerful centres in Dimitris Dantas and, of course, Camila Cardoso. So that's going to be a problem for them. Also, Czechia, well, they take more threes than any other team in the competition, and their percentage just hasn't been where they'd like it to be. Romana Potacheva, the coach, and they are ready to go. They'll know the importance of this, but likewise for Brazil, here's an opportunity they really have to grab today.
Well, you talk about Czech and their 3-point shooting taking the most. Brazil lead the competition, the tournament, in free throw percentage, or 3-point percentage, at 47%. So they are very accurate from there, and I'm sure they're going to use that weapon in today's game, especially the likes of Nascimento. She has been really on fire and shooting at a great percentage.
His disappointing loss to Belgium on the opening day, where it was 99-70 in favour of the European champions. But they bounced back yesterday to beat South Sudan by 15 points, 94 to 79. They won 3 of the 4 quarters, won the rebound count as well. And Dantas, well, she was great. And Cardoso, who had 0 rebounds in game 1, came up with 17 in game 2, the most we've seen by a player at the tournament.
She was so impressive, a double-double with 23 points and, as you mentioned, 17 gigantic rebounds.
Let's pause now for the national anthems of Brazil and Czechia.
Please raise standing the national anthem of Brazil. 请保持肃立，奏巴西国歌。 Please be seated to both players greeting each other.
So the teams will exchange gifts and we'll be set to go very shortly here from Wuhan in China. I don't think there's room for both these teams to qualify for Germany in September, Laurie, and that's why this game is so important.
Well, it is when you say we've got 6 here at the tournament, 4 qualify. We know that Belgium already have qualified, so it's 3 spots left, and it is between these 2 teams and perhaps Mali. South Sudan have lost a couple of games early on, you never know, but this game just takes on so much importance, and both teams are going to want to come out and set the tempo early.
Referees for this game, Czechia from Poland on the left of screen. We saw also Martin Davison from New Zealand and Edgar Ceccarelli from France will be the crew. And here's the starting 5 for Czechia, and no change to the 5 that they started yesterday against Mali, with Chikova and Rasingarova going to do the heavy lifting against the bigs of Brazil. But they need to get a contribution across the floor to be successful here today, Laurie. And in the pre-game, we were both noticing they look switched on, they look businesslike. I think they're aware that yesterday wasn't good enough and today we need to act.
I think so. You could just tell by the way they were going about their shooting drills. And you know, Rasingarova, she needs to have an impact on the rebounds. She had 7 against South Sudan, but only 1 against Mali. As we see head coach Pachakova, she's got her work cut out for her, trying to navigate this team and get them fired up and ready to go.
And for Brazil, see their starting 5, and they've made a change because yesterday Alana Goncalo played very well, had 15 points, game high 5 assists, and she has dislodged Deborah from the starting lineup as the point guard. And she was impressive yesterday. If she continues that form, then that's going to create some issues for Czechia. But obviously, Dimitri's Dantas and Camila Cardoso are the 2 bigs who were dominant yesterday. And for the team coached by Pokey Chapman, you would think that they're going to try and pound that ball inside. They get to the free throw line more than any other team here at the tournament. But as you mentioned earlier, they've also been very good from deep to lead the competition here in 3-point shooting at 47%. So they've got all bases covered, it would appear.
Well, the one thing that Czechia has the advantage is that they have been in the first 2 games. They've actually gone after the O boards really well. 17 they average a game, and so that's a focus that Brazil will have to make sure that they're blocking out, because when you get an O board and a putback, that can really lift a team.
First of 3 games here from Wuhan in China. And getting to must-win scenario here for Czechia and Brazil. And both teams keen to get off to a good start here. Brazil with games against Mali and China to come. And for Czechia, after today, it's China and Belgium, the 2 toughest opponents on the seedings. So that's why they will be desperate to get the right result here this afternoon.
It's really important that Czechia take care of the basketball, give themselves the opportunity to get good looks at the basket. They had 20 turnovers, which is just too many against any of these quality teams. They're going to punish you, and Brazil will do exactly that. So take care of possession, take care of the ball, and go after the rebounds.
So a clash between America's number 9 in the world, Brazil, European Czechia, number 8 in Europe, number 17 in the world. Overall, we're set to go. Game 1, day 3 here from the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament in Wuhan in China. And it is Brazil through the agency of Camila Cardoso who control the tip. Goncalo. Nascimento. They opened up the lane for her and she took it and comes up with the first points of the game.
Well, it's nice to see her get her feet in the paint, because we know what a prolific 3-point shooter she is.
That was an opening, it was wide open in the paint. She made them pay, so hands over. Puts it on the deck against Nascimento. Just lost her balance there, and it's the first score in the game for Czechia. So that's a positive start for them. Now down low they go to work Dantes. Nothing on offer. Well done, Chikova, and the pass is a poor one. First turnover of the game with an over and back violation against Brazil.
Hamzova did a great job there. She didn't fully commit on the doubling. She was just hedging down, making her have to make a decision, and that forced the turnover. So really good defense by Hamzova.
The outside shot, and a good result as well for Petra Oleshinska. As Czechia take the lead for the first time. Always nice to see your opening three go down. Shot clock to 10 here for Brazil. Giancarlo with it. Now red numbers on the shot clock. She defers. Asks a lot here of Nascimento. Has to fire quickly. Can't get it to go. O-board kept alive here by Cardoso. The ball was just slapped out of her hand. She was inconvenienced. So good hustle there from Czechia to defuse a dangerous situation.
Well, that was a good second effort by Cardoso, but again, really active hands there. Great job by Verkachova.
Oleshinska hands it over Rachkova. Chikova down to the baseline. Nothing on offer down there initially, but she stays with it. Dimitri's doing a good job defensively, though. Now the shot clock rolls to red numbers, and they need to get busy. Pull-up comes from Hamzova. It's off the mark. And Cardoso with the rebound, and running for her is Giancarlo. Gets to the baseline. Nothing on offer there. In fact, just took too much real estate, stepped out of court. So Brazil turn it over for the second time in the game.
That's something they're going to have to be a little bit wary of. Too many turnovers, giving the ball, the possession back to Czechia.
Rachkova aggressively down to the baseline, puts the finishing touches on. They've scored 7 in a row here, Czechia.
Rachkova had really good control of her body there. She didn't rush when she saw that there was a defender there. Just controlled the pace, the tempo of her body, and finished strongly.
Cemento. And the shot clock winding down into the red numbers here. Skip pass into the corner and turn it over again. Stepping out of court there.
Wow, the sideline, the end line aren't the friend of Brazil these last couple of possessions. They've got to make sure they tidy that up.
So third turnover then for Brazil. Now Czechia. Rachkova. Chikova trying to post up. Doing a good job there. De Oliveira just to keep her at bay for the moment. She works down the baseline. Nothing on offer there for her. Manu De Oliveira pumps it down low. Good work, Singer over just to keep Dantas at bay there, but she's good enough to hit the target.
What a classy shot by Dantas. Just worked her player down a little bit lower in the block and then was able to turn around.
Whistle off the ball here. Foul on Brazil. Giancarlo called for a blocking foul off the ball. First foul of the game so far.
Hamzova was just trying to cut through the key, and she just stepped in front of her a little bit too aggressively.
3.5 minutes played in the opening quarter. And restart for Czechia. Made a good start here. 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from deep. Hamzova goes on with the dribble here against Giancarlo. Outside, Singer fires. That's off the mark. Lack of intensity there from Brazil. Get after the rebound. And that looked like an over and back violation from here, and that's eventually the way that it's called. Brazil didn't get a touch on it before back over halfway, so Brazil will come up with it here. Their offense hasn't looked crisp so far. The Oliveira restarts. Here's Goncalo. Dantas. Cardoso posting up. Rasingarova did a good job there to deny her any space, and the shot was a wild one. And Czechia want to play up tempo here. Vrachkova dishes outside. Finishing touches elude them on that occasion. And now Goncalo. One way, back the other to the baseline. Wide open jumper for her, overcooked it. Well done, Cardoso. Well, she did well, found good position, gets the O-board and draws the foul from Czechia. And it's going to be a foul on Rasingarova, going to be her first personal.
Well, she was trying to set herself up to get a seal inside on Rasingarova, and it just happened the shot went up and she had great position to get the board.
4 minutes played in the opening quarter. Here's Cardoso putting on the deck quickly. Rasingarova did a good job, walled up nice. And now they've got a fast break having Chekova from close range comes up with the finishing touches.
She is so quick up the court, Chekova, the youngster that's really making a scene here at the tournament.
The Oliveira with a nice finish as well, and she goes solo to come up with her first score in the game. Hamzova, well, they stood off her. She makes them pay, adds to her tally.
Just a little hesitation dribble from Hamzova. Good footwork straight to the basket.
4 in the game now for her. De Oliveira with it. Cardoso. Back to De Oliveira. Pulls the trigger from outside. Off the mark. Cardoso had a piece of it, but couldn't get it away from Hamzova, and now she's got support running. Holishinska, Euro steps away in, and the ball spills to Rasingarova, who adds another 2, so it's a 7-point lead, a game high here at the moment for Czechia.
Both teams are looking at every opportunity to push the ball up the court, attack the defender early. As we can see here, Holishinska attacking the rim in the transition situation, and Czechia running the floor so well.
All 5 starters have scored for Czechia. Zara Hamarova check into the game now. Nascimento puts it on the deck into the paint. Tough shot. She hurried it. Couldn't get the result she was after, but the loose ball comes back for Brazil.
Shot clock wasn't reset.
They're going to have to get it up.
Shot up.
Oh, she was fouled. She threw up a prayer, and Holishinska really didn't need to force that.
I don't think they were really quite aware of that shot clock then, that it hadn't been reset, and so that was a prayer that was put up, and she really was favored there with that rebound.
Not only that, but she gets 3 free throws as well, Manu de Oliveira. Had 8 points, 5 assists in the win over South Sudan 2 days ago. 5 points in the opening game of the tournament.
Czechia have had a really good, steady start to this game. They're doing the fundamentals really well. They're blocking out, they're running the floor, they're taking good shots.
Yes, that's the way they warmed up. Vrachkova. Rasingarova. Chekova down low, working against Dantas. Ain't no room in the baseline for her. Now she's just slipped. Lost the balance. Loose ball. We force the stoppage. Possession arrow is with Czechia here. They'll maintain possession.
Really good defense by Dantas on Chekova here. Just slipped, which was unfortunate for her. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Substitutions made for Czechia as well. Anyalova checks in, along with Stopalova, who was a starter on day 1. So, Rasingarova and Vrachkova, the only starters on the floor at the moment for Czechia. Long restart. Vrachkova. Again, to pull the trigger here, deep on the floor, it's off the mark. So 1 of 5 from long range, but they get another O-board here, Czechia, and a chance for them to reset. Hamarova with it. 5 on the shot clock. She gets a good look at the top of the key. That's off the mark as well, but another long rebound comes back for them, and this time it's Stopalova who knocks it down.
Well, Stopalova's been averaging almost 12 points across the 2 games, so she can be deadly from inside or out. Great back cut by Dantas and great find by Cardoso.
Good reply for them, but Barachkova down low. Ball slapped out of the hands, goes back for seconds, whipped into an opening, and from close range, it's Singarova who adds to the tally. Brazil players stayed down behind plate. Dantas at the other end, though, goes on with it, gets the bucket, and now we'll have a stoppage. One of the Czechian players actually stopped to try and assist. Looks like she's taken a whack to the back of the. Here's the finish from Dimitris Dantas. We've seen plenty of that through the first 3 games, and she's deadly when she gets within that range. But the Oliveira, it is slow to get back to her feet. Let's hope she's okay. Took over 3 minutes left on the clock here in this first term. So Isa Sangali is going to check into the game. The Oliveira is going to be assisted from the court. Just clutching the back of her head there. So let's look at it here. She went down.
Dantas is leading all scorers with 6 points, and she's so professional in everything she does out there, Dantas.
Brazil opened to scoring, but since then it's largely been Czechia. They lead by 5 with possession as we move inside the last 3 minutes of this opening quarter. Stopalova fires, thought she was fouled, didn't get a whistle there. And the run now comes from Deborah, who's checked into the game. Finds Dantas firing and fouled. She's going to the free throw line.
She's so hard to defend when she does that turnaround jump shot, because she's so accurate and she's so poised when she does that. You can just look here, a step back, eyes up early on the target.
Been good at the tournament. 13.6 rebounds in the opening game against Belgium, and then 25, including 4 of 7 threes in the game against South Sudan, when she played 35 minutes. Leading this team by example, the captain.
She is. She's second overall in scoring for the tournament, 19 points. So she's vital for this Brazil team to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Hamarova accelerates down to the baseline and comes up with her first points in the game. So they appear to have the answers at the moment. Let's see what Dantas can come up with. It was a tough shot. There was contact, no whistle. And again, the run is on here. Barachkova aggressively. Singarova, Hamarova outside. And the 3 ball just not working for Czechia at the moment. 1 of 7 from long range. And 8 of 10 from inside the perimeter. Oh, good block. Well done. Strong stuff for Barachkova. Shut down the run and the penetration there. But all their success is coming inside. That's what Stopalova wanted to get to. So a foul going to be called here on Brazil. A second team foul for them here in this opening term.
Really good decision by Stopalova to challenge the defense there. You could see that Deborah wasn't quite set, and so to make that drive early, but what a nice block, the timing of it.
Under 2 minutes remaining here in this opening term. Anyalova bounce pass. Chikova, good position. It's worried out of the points though, so good defensive pressure provided there by Brazil. Now Martins. Pass into the corner. They wanted inside. Oh, Cardoso did well then to reel that in. And Chikova on the retreat, just backing into, has been called for the foul. So free throws to come.
Watch that matchup there between Cardoso and Chikova, and they were battling away inside. And there's, you know, height differences. There's size, physicality difference. Cardoso was working really hard, but Chikova was making her work hard with that too. She wasn't giving her anything easy.
15 of 20 from the free throw line coming into this game in the tournament here for Cardoso. The margin is 4. And a chance again. Up tempo from Anilova. Side hammer over. And looks some penetration. Here's Pospisilova checking into the game and deferring. Outside shot from Stopilova is off the mark. So Kane, work from deep is not as good as Czechia would like it. So Czechia over the limit in terms of fouls here in this quarter, so more free throws to come here for Brazil. They're already 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the game, and Czechia are yet to get to the stripe.
That was a really nice pass by Sangali into Cardoso, and she had it just high enough that Cardoso could reach it and cause the defense to foul. But that's the sort of looks that they're going to have all afternoon, trying to get it inside.
With 5 rebounds in the game, Cardoso. So that's an area for Czechia to work on. But they lead by 2 inside the last 60 seconds of this opening term. Side hammer over. Picks up the dribble. Chikova. Quick step down low. Nice extension. Good finish from her.
Such an explosive first step and long steps. That was a great finish by Chikova.
Down low is Cardoso making room for herself and adding to her tally.
She's just using her strength out there.
Been hard to contain so far. Anilova found an open look and drills the dribble. They were overdue after being 1 of 8. They get their second 3 of the game.
Did a great job at first using the screen, then the re-screen. Defense got caught up. Let it fly.
10 on the clock, heading toward quarter time. Mura, skip pass, and now they work it inside eventually. They got the ball to Cardoso and she was fouled just prior to the buzzer. So her presence inside is a real factor in this game. 5 points, 5 rebounds. She's 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And just that size that we mentioned pre-game could be a factor in this game, and she's off to the stripe once more where she's 3 of 4 so far. Just going to check to make sure this all happened prior to the siren, but certainly felt that way.
Well, Cardoso, as you mentioned, had 0 rebounds in game 1 and then 17 in game 2, and she's looking on track to have a lot of rebounds in this game, it was just so uncharacteristic of her to have 0 rebounds. We couldn't believe it when we actually saw the stats.
.3 of a second left on the clock. This is the back end. They keep it alive, and that is quarter time. And Czechia, with their highest scoring first quarter of the tournament so far, will go in with a 4-point buffer at quarter time. At the end of 1, it's Czechia 24, leading Brazil 20. They had the margin out by as many as 7 at one stage. This was only lead when they hit the first bucket of the game. Dantas with 8 points and Cardoso with 6 points. 5 forwards have been influential here so far, Laurie.
Well, and that's what we would expect, the style of play that Brazil would look at against Czechia. They've got the height advantage in Dantas and Cardoso and the strength advantage. So if it's going to get into a physical battle, you have to say that Brazil would probably take that inside. Dantas, Cardoso, I think, will continue to be a focal point for them, and it's going to be difficult for Czechia to try and contain that, but they'll have to come up with something. But at the offensive end for Czechia, they're making really good decisions as to when they drive it, when they shoot it. They've had some really good transition baskets, and the other thing I have been impressed with is at the defensive end, they have been blocking out.
3-point shooting has been a problem for Czechia. 2 of 9 at 22%. Haven't been to the stripe either. Brazil got 8 of their 20 points from the free throw line as they penetrate and do their best work inside the paint. Both teams had their moments in that opening quarter. So we get a look at some of the better action there from the opening quarter. 11-9 the rebound count in favour of Brazil. They had 3 turnovers and Czechia none, which sort of nullified the advantage that they had there. And 6 fouls called overall on Czechia in that opening quarter.
Czechia have a spread of scorers. Nobody's really stood out. They've been sharing the ball really well, as I said, making good decisions in their shot selection, and there's been a lot of players, that have been involved.
Download the Courtside 1891 app by the QR code on your screen. You can keep up to date with everything that's happening. And of course, we've got 60 games being played over 5 days on 3 different continents here in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2026 qualifying tournaments. And that will keep you right up to date. Nascimento lost control of it there. Ball spills here to Hamzova. She gets it back from Rice-Singer-Over, and a chance for them to extend a 4-point quarter time lead. Early turn number 2. Oh, she went on with a dribble, ran into a dead end, and tosses the ball out of court. So first turnover in the game for Czechia. Carlo back onto the floor. Harassed there by Anyalova. Nascimento. Just the 2 points for her in the opening quarter. Pass batted down out of court. So 7 on the shot clock now for Brazil. Intensity about Czechia that wasn't there yesterday. The stakes are rising here for them because they must win this game. Dantas, leading scorer in the game, and she's now into double digits. So that's a concern for Czechia as well. Pospisilova, Chikova, back to the left-hand side. Aggressive work from her, nothing on offer. Hamzova puts it on the deck, and under pressure, that was good work from Isa Sangali just to force the error. So after having 0 turnovers in the first quarter, they've come up with 2 quick ones here in term number 2, Czechia.
Well, Sangali did a great job of keeping her a good distance and not reaching in and fouling, and then because she was right there and the speed at which Hamzova was trying to get to the basket just forced the turnover.
Carlo with it, working against Anyalova. Good to see Manu de Oliveira back on the floor after taking that tumble in the first term. Baseline, well, this is a very good performance here from Damides Dantas. She's now got 12 in the game. Ties it away at 24. She's been the dominant force so far. Passing it over. Chikova, single digits on the shot clock as they invite Alishka Hamzova into the equation. Good ball movement, but Brazil stayed with them. This is going to have to go up now from Rice-Singer-Over. It was rushed, and no surprise that it wasn't accurate.
That was smothering defense by Brazil. I think at that quarter-time break, they've really lifted the intensity.
Baseline, de Oliveira, tough shot, but she gets it done. She's got 6 in the game. Well, no surprise here. This has gone all awry for Czechia. And coach Romana Potacheva has decided to call timeout inside the first 2 minutes of the second. It's been a 6-0 start from Brazil, and they've grabbed the lead. The quarter-time break didn't do Czechia any favours at all. They need to find an answer down low there for Damides Dantas. She's got 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting.
Skáčou nám do clon. Finta, ale to...
So some self-inflicted wounds here in this second term, a couple of turnovers, and that up-tempo game plan that was good for them in the opening quarter just not working as well as they would like here in the second.
Well, that was a good timeout because the momentum definitely had swung to Brazil in the start of that second quarter. So Czechia just need to steady themselves. They need to continue to get the ball through hands, set good screens, get each other open through that method, whether it be a pick and roll or an off-ball screen. But they just need to steady themselves.
Hamzova can support her way. Vorachkova provides it. And the D from Brazil good early. De Oliveira just worried Chikova out of the points there. So still no addition to the quarter time tally for Czechia. That was their first shot in this quarter. Now here is Dimitris Dantas. Single digits on the shot clock. Chikova with the job on her. Single coverage, and she did it well enough. Hamzova. It's got Vorachkova to her left, but others joining in, including Holyszynska.
Yes.
She knocks down the triple.
Great three-point shot by Holyszynska in transition. She is shooting the ball really well.
Holyszynska thought she was fouled initially, but now she's been called for the foul as she runs into Alina Mura. See the replay. Screen from Mura. Holyszynska was just a little frustrated given that she couldn't get a call prior to that. As you can see, it's on with the conversation with Wojciech Liszka. The shot clock to 10 here for Brazil. Nascimento. Cardoso checked back into the game as well. After Mura had started this quarter. Shot clock at red numbers. They need to get it up. Dantas, well, she is the most likely player, and she's got 15 now in the game.
If there's nothing else happening on the team, get it in her hands because she is creating for herself.
Racing her over from close range, turns and adds to her tally. She's now got 6. And a much-needed bucket for Czechia, but they need to find an answer at the other end defensively against Dantas and Cardoso. And now rushing to the hoop and getting a user-friendly roll. Goncalo opens her account.
Well, that's what I said. There'd been a lot of contributors in that first half.
Here's the replay. Vorachkova drawing a foul, knocking down the shot. Chance at a three-point play for her.
And that's exactly the sort of play that could really lift this team. Vorachkova, strong drive.
Can make the extra. First trip to the free throw line in the tournament for her. Kaka Martins will bring Brazil up the floor. Almost 4 minutes played, term number 2. Tied at 31. It's Dantas, kicks outside. Goncalo is off the mark. Well done, Cardoso. The O board and the strength to go back and add to her tally. It's 8 in the game now for her to go with 6 boards. Holyszynska. Good screen from Rice-Singarova. It's a little too solid for the liking of referee Martin Davison from New Zealand, and he calls the offensive foul. See, Romana Petachkova agreeing with the call. Well, she did a lot wrong there, but they are generally consistent with that. Now here's Goncalo drawing another foul. This is starting to become a problem. Brazil starting to build their momentum here. Hamzova comes up with a foul, so it's 2 on Czechia here. In fact, 3 on Czechia in this term. We played just a tick over 4 minutes. Inside again, not surprised. Cardoso switches outside. De Oliveira, in fact, it's Martins who rushes to the hoop and comes up with the finish and her first score in the game. So it's a game-high lead now for Brazil by 4. 15 points to 7 in this term with a quick answer, and they needed that. Vorachkova.
Vorachkova, good decision. The defender went under the screen, so she just stopped and propped and nailed that 3.
And now an offensive foul going to be called here on Brazil. Consistent with it. And And there's just going to be a warning here as well. The foul's on Dimitis Dantas, and she's just being told that the reaction was unnecessary. She was suggesting it was a flop. And referee Wojciech Lischka is just laying down the law to Dimitis Dantas. Raisingarova sits down. Just the one foul for her so far. In fact, she has two. Some confusion here in terms of the scoreboard inside and official stats. Vrachkova shut down. Defensive play from Mano de Oliveira was excellent.
Well, a nice little curl cut by Varakova and a teammate finding her, but what a great follow-up and block by de Oliveira.
So 2 of 9 from deep in the opening quarter, Czechia, and they're 2 of 5 here since then in the second. It's starting to work the long ball. Not on this occasion, though. Cardoso, the rebound. Got 8 of them already in the game. Following up from 17 in a most recent outing. Dantas. Well, the pass was a poor one. Bounced off the foot almost there of Giancarlo. They get it down low. And Cardoso worried out of the points there. That's better at the defensive end from Czechia. Olishinska. Gets the Stopel over, and now they find Vrachkova firing off the mark. Chikova, the O-board, the putback wouldn't go for her. Whistle on the play as well. Foul is going to be called on Brazil. Kaka Martins with her hand in the air. It's a third team foul for South Americans here in this second.
Hamzova just went straight in there to try and contribute and get an O-board and was fouled in the process, but just her endeavor to get in there was exceptional.
Vrachkova. It's over to Hamzova, and whistle provided here, so it's going to be a fourth foul on Brazil. Giancarlo, they're being aggressive and challenging Brazil now, and they've got some problems.
It's a real arm wrestle right now, John, with you know, 1 point halfway through, or 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. Neither team are giving an inch. Defense is tough out there. Everything has to be earned. There's been nothing easy out there for either team.
Giancarlo will sit down now with a couple of fouls. They had only 2 fouls in that opening term. They've got 4 here already in less than 6 minutes of the second, and now they just have to rein it back in a little bit. Otherwise, free throws are going to be coming. It's good adjustment from Romana Potachkova and her team. Started to put some pressure on the interior, and it's opened up, and they've started to find the range from deep as well. So Veronika Vrachkova will restart here. Chikova. Hamzova with single digits on the shot clock, top of the key. They need some help. In traffic, goes on with the dribble. Well, she played that nicely, but overcooked it. The finishing touches from close range. It's going to be waved away. The shot clock violation in the background. Edgar Ceccarelli from France making the call, said the shot was after the event, so it will remain Brazil by 1 as Hamzova sits down. 4 points in the game for her. Deborah Dantas, de Oliveira, and El Cardoso, and another offensive foul has been called on Brazil here. Second in this term. Moving screen, according to Edgar Ceccarelli. Chikova sits down, replaced by Julia Raisingarova. So 2 fouls on Giancarlo, 2 on Deborah Costa, and a couple on Dimitis Dantas now for Brazil. And this is an arm wrestle. Trust you're enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching around the world. Stopel over, puts it on the deck. Brazil thought she travelled. Was the call from their end of the bench. Not the way the referee saw it. Ball knocked down out of court. We've got 10 seconds on the shot clock here for Czechia. 15-10 is the scoreline in favour of Brazil in this quarter so far. Czechia starting to grab some momentum. Hamarova will restart. Vrachkova. Now Olishinska puts it on the deck. Forced into a tough shot. That was good defensive work there from Camila Cardoso. She changed that shot, made it a difficult one, and now she's posting up and wants it in there quickly. Pass was deflected. Cardoso, she's got open players around the perimeter, and it's Dantas.
There is is nothing that Dantas can't do tonight, whether it's get the ball inside, finish strongly, a little step back, or a three-point shot. She's doing it all.
18 in the game on 7 of 9 shooting, including 2 of 2 from deep. This has been some sort of display from Dimitri's Dantas, the captain of Brazil, after having 25 and 4 of 7 threes against South Sudan 2 days ago.
Vrátíme se do hry, pojďme.
Musíme být schopni rozlišit, kdo je kdo na tom hřišti. Jestli máme rotovat k 18 nebo ke 12, ano, radši nechte tyhle volný a muďte tam utý.
Well, Brazil, the best three-point shooting team in the competition on averages at 47%. They were none of 3 from long range in the opening quarter. They've knocked down 2 of 3 here in this second, and that's helped them over the top of Czechia at the moment. 18 points to 10 is the equation since quarter time. And Dimitri's Dantas has really created all sorts of havoc in that tandem with Kamila Cardoso.
Well, somebody from Czechia needs to put up their hand and go, I'll guard her, I'll stop her. Give me a chance, coach.
I'm sure the coach would be keen. Sadamarova, Stopalova, Bratskova. Good aggressive work from her. Pushed the Oliveira out of the way and helps herself to 2 more.
Bratskova has been really quite dominant for Czechia in this game, especially this second half. She's up to 9 points, but what I like is her aggression. Everything she does is aggressive, whether she's putting it to the floor, whether she's cutting, whether she's running. She's got a real sort of look about her that means business.
She has 5 of Czechia's 12 in this quarter. She's been busy, and now they've got 4 team fouls as well, Czechia. So they're going to have to make an adjustment as well for the last almost 3 minutes. De Oliveira, good bounce pass. Cardoso, that slick ball movement. The danger player. Dantas!
Oh my goodness! Dantas is continuing in her ways. 3 from 3 now from long point range.
Margin is 5. Biggest lead of the game here for Brazil so far. It's well done there by Polishinska to keep that alive after the miss. Racing her over. That's what they need to do. They need to challenge the bigs down at the other end and make them play some D from outside. Rattled around the rim there for Stopalova, jumped out and get it back. See Cardoso sharing Dantas. Wow. 21 points in the first half. She's hit 3 of 3 from deep, 8 of 10 overall. And the 1-2 punch with Cardoso, who's got 8 points, 8 boards, is proving a real problem for Czechia. 5 on the shot clock. Bratskova, well guarded by De Oliveira, who goes down. And now we've got a whistle, and it's called an offensive foul. So Czechia from Poland thought there was too much contact there. So that's 2 offensive fouls on both teams here in this second.
Just extended her arm out. She was in full flight there, going hard, as we said. Everything she does right now is just tough and strong. Czechia are trying a zone, seeing if they can pack up the middle.
There's Cardoso, the fouler, skip pass in the corner. Good first step came there. Now they've got the Twin Towers inside. A 3-second violation is going to be called on Brazil.
Well, that was a good look from Czechia to throw that zone, and it's good to throw it in early in the second half or in the first half to see if that's something that you want to continue or throw out in the third or fourth quarter. And that was a good, really good result for Czechia.
7 turnovers now for Brazil in the game. Bratskova. Bounce pass down low by Singarova. Foul is going to be called on Brazil, so free throws to come here. They're over the limit as De Oliveira hits the deck.
And like you said, John, that's a good look. Try and get it inside. Test test the defense of Cardoso, test the defense of Dantas, see if you can get them in some foul trouble, but don't be afraid to go in there after them.
Singarova, 2 of 2 from the stripe against South Sudan in the opening game. None of 2 from the stripe second up against Mali. Brazil have taken eight of 11 free throws for Brazil in the game. And Czechia, the first pair of free throws in the game after Borachkova did have a 3-point play attempt earlier. Singarova sits down, Chikova comes back. And Cardoso and Dantas down in the low block, looking to create some more havoc here. Brazil by 4. Outside shot comes. Wouldn't work there for Deborah, but it's kept alive. Cardoso, Dantas, this time off the mark. Well done, good hustle there from Stopalova to win it back for Czechia.
And that's another stop in their zone.
Side hammer over, they stood off her, so the youngster goes to work, rattles around the rim, user-friendly roll for her. So Pokey Chapman, the coach of Brazil's, had enough of that as Czechia closed the gap back to a single point.
Well, I don't think Side Hamarova quite believe how open she was. If we see here on the replay, she looked to pass, then went, no, I'll take it. And a couple of bounces later, it went right in.
She's 23 years of age. Plays her club basketball in Czechia, Bruin.
Olha só, na stack, é importante a Damiri estar aqui, a Camila está aqui e a Camila bloquear essa menina aqui.
A menina tá aqui, ó. Tem um aqui e um aqui.
Pega aqui então, pra você sair.
Lateral, tem que ir embora logo.
Vai embora logo. Porque aí, se você bloquear essa aqui, você vai estar pela frente dela aqui na hora que ela subir, entendeu?
Listen, it's stack or it's five. Okay, they want to be zone again. Okay, make the read like you did before. Okay, we have to get a stop. If there's an opportunity to go 2 for 1, look at me and I want to go 2 for 1.
Seesawing affair so far. Trust you are enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching the 2026 FIBA Women's World Basketball Cup qualifying tournament from Wuhan in China. This is the first of our 3 games. A little later it's going to be Belgium against Mali and then China against South Sudan a little later. But Czechia led by 7 in the opening quarter. Brazil got out to a 5-point buffer here during the second. As we count down the last minute and a bit of the first half, it's a single point the difference.
As we would expect in the we know how important this game is for both teams, and so they are throwing everything at each other.
Cardoso draws a foul. She's going to the free throw line. She was 11 of 13 from the free throw line against South Sudan in their most recent game. And in the first game, 4 of 7 from the stripe. She's such a presence down low and so effective in what she does as well. Of course, playing the WNBA with the Chicago Sky and averaged 14 points, 9 rebounds there. So that gives you an indication of the quality she brings. So they edge out to a 3-point buffer. Chikova, a great D as well from Cardoso. Shut her down. Chikova was trying to get off the quick release to catch a napping. Cardoso wasn't buying it. Now she wants it at the offensive end. She started it with a block. She finishes with another 2. That's an excellent play phase from Camila Cardoso.
Great look from Dantas to her partner in crime, Cardoso.
Borachkova, top of the key. Single digits on the shot clock. All the way, nice finish from her. So she's up to double digits, 11 on 5 of 7 from the field. Inside they go once more now. The double team arrives, but Dantas gets a whistle as well, so she will go back to the free throw line. They pound that ball inside. They're 10 of 13 from the free throw line at the moment. Czechia 1 of 3.
Well, Dantas just used all her experience to sort of come out of that double team, a step back shot, put it up. Didn't look like going in, but drew the foul. That's experience.
Twin Towers really have got the better of Czechia so far as Dantas misses from the stripe. They've got 33 points of the 45 Brazil have scored between them, Dantas and Cardoso. She's doing a little bit of everything as well. Dimitri's Dantas, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, couple of fouls. So right on half-time, can they get it off? A long-range attempt from Varachkova is off the mark, and this arm wrestle has been very good right to the half-time buzzer, where Brazil, who trailed by 4 at quarter-time, will go in at the major break with a 4-point buffer. Half-time in Wuhan, it's Brazil 46, Czechia 42. 26 points to 18 is the equation in the second. So a 4-point quarter-time deficit, now a 4-point lead. Just watching Julia Reisinger-Over leaving the floor there with an ice pack on the elbow. So that's not a good sign, given that the bigs of Brazil are creating so much havoc, Laurie.
Well, no, they'll need her on the court. Hopefully it's something that she can work through at halftime and be able to come back out here. But if you look at the rebounds, are pretty equal. Both teams have taken care of the ball. Certainly Brazil is playing a team style of game, which has been absolutely dominated by Dantas with her 22 points and Cardoso with 12 as well. So certainly an inside presence for Brazil.
Some of the better plays from the second quarter. And Brazil make the early running. And it really was Dimitri's Dantas. She had 14 of their 26 in the second quarter, and was doing both inside and outside. And Oliveira was good as well.
I think the highlights reel will focus on Dantas, as they should. But you know, credit to Czechia. They came back. They went into a bit of a zone, made a couple of really good stops. I think Varachkova has been a very, very energetic. Good target for them. She's finished the half with 11 points, and there we see her shooting from outside. And they'll need her to continue with that, but they need to talk about how they're going to stop the onslaught of Dantas and her three-point shooting, her step backs, just her overall presence in the game.
Cardoso as well. Been a factor, 12 points, 9 rebounds and a couple of assists for her so far. So we reach half-time here. Vital game on day 3 between Brazil and Czechia, and Brazil with a 4-point lead.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday.
This is now. Feel our presence, built on strength
and drive. Not rising, we are arriving. Not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot. Earned. Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
Ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
Nice little hesitation, kicks it out. Spin move, and is rejected from Besvar.
As Team USA comes back the other way, looking to punish. Caitlin Clark pulls up from deep. And those are the Caitlin Clark logo threes we're used to seeing when she's in rhythm.
Here's Talbot. She just hit the 2 biggest threes of the game. Now Whitcomb gets up a 3. Can you believe it? They have hit 4 in a row. Unbelievable.
And three different players, so.
Pellington
Open from the elbow, misses on now the steal from Pelling. Look at this. And then the turnover and Duel comes from behind and gets the block. I don't think that Alexander knew she was coming, or maybe she would have hesitated.
AI completely airballs, but Joanna saves it and passes it directly to Malonga.
Deng, energized by knocking down the shot, ran into a big block there from Cardoso, hit the deck hard as well.
Here she is in transition. A nice pass into Tyra Melendez. One court vision from Pamela Rosado as Melendez runs full speed ahead. Xander Lucini pulls it back out, 7 on the shot clock. Pulls up from 3 with a player in her face, and just like that, the and one opportunity from 3 for a 4-point play. I cannot say enough good things about her. A 22-point game. It's knocked out of Pagan's hands. Here's Monique Billings and Angel Reese. Angel Reese on the left-hand side is blocked by Amani McGee Stafford. That's a momentum swinger right there.
Miyazawa, they got to get the shot up. And she gets it up just in the nick of time, and she banks it in. Incredible.
I think it's gonna count.
It is. Wow.
And, well,
yep.
Oh yeah, easily out of her hands.
How many times are we gonna see this? Baseline, are you kidding me? Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Chicago attacks to close out, beat Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
Great to have your company from Wuhan in China on day 3 of competition at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2026 qualifying tournament. Good game going between Brazil and Czechia here at the moment. And Czechia, well, they've got 11 points out of Veronika Voracekova, including 9 in that second term out of the 18 that a team came up with. They really needed her to come to the table, and she's answered the call there, Laurie.
Well, she did. She got a good look from outside, but to me, what I liked it was her explosiveness, exploring, going to the basket, hesitation dribble, then pulling up with real balance. But everything she did was with such concerted purpose. I thought she was really important for Czechia.
Plays with Zaragoza in Spain and was part of the EuroLeague Championship win with USK Praha Czech back in 2025. And for Brazil, well, the big story is Dimitri's Dantas, because she had 8 points in the opening quarter, added another 14 in the second term for a game-high 22, and they just can't contain her because she can get it done from the inside and outside, Laurie.
Well, she was so impressive. We didn't really have enough words to describe how she was playing out there. Every time she touched the ball, she seemed to find a scoring option, and you can't afford to stand off of her. You've got to carry a hand. Outside, she was 3 from 4 from the perimeter and just looked so calm shooting them. Everything, you know, her professional approach is great. Her step backs are really hard, recognizing what the defense wants to give her or take away, and she has just been so impressive. And her teammates have done a great job of finding her. If they're open, they can make the extra pass, and she is rewarding them.
One of the veterans on the team at 33 years of age, 2-time Olympian, been to 2 World Cups, including the last Brazil featured at in 2014. She plays with the Indiana Fever in the WNBA and averages only 12 minutes a game, which is a little surprising, although sometimes, as you know, Laurie, the club environment is different to what we see here on the international stage in the FIBA game. But right now, she has been super, and the tournament high of 27 points by an individual, which Antonio De Lara scored for Belgium against China on day 2, when she knocked down 7 of 10 threes, which equaled the qualifying tournament best ever. Well, that's in some danger here with Dantas with 22.
Well, I think so. I mean, she's already second in the scoring in this tournament at 19, and she's already well and truly exceeded that. So she could fly up into first spot with a game like this if she continues. But Czechia are going to have to find a way and a means to stop her. Now, whether that's somebody that just stays with her, doesn't help at all, tries to keep the ball out of her hands as much as possible, denying her, whether it's they go into a zone and focus on taking away any inside looks, although she's been shooting it well from outside. But the other thing for Czechia I think is really important is that they need to have foul discipline. So they've sent Brazil to the line. They've scored 11 out of 15. Brazil go to the line almost 31 points a game. So it's an area of that they look to attack and find a way to foul. So foul discipline is really important for Czechia.
Yeah, Brazil were 19 of 27 from the free throw line against South Sudan. And against Belgium on the opening day, 25 of 35 from the free throw line. So it's a small sample size, and some of these statistics that we're sharing can be a little bit misleading because of that. But certainly that is what they're doing as well, and if not better than anyone. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Yulia Reisingerova returns here at halftime, because she left the break with the ice pack on the elbow, and they certainly need her. She's perhaps their strongest, most physical defender that they've got. And just looking for her to rejoin the group at the moment. And I'm not convinced she's there so far.
That'll be a really hard ask if she's not able to play this second half, just the size, what she can offer them with her physicality as well.
Yeah, so she's yet to reappear. Teammates are back on the floor. There's Vorachkova with those 11 points, which has been crucial for her team. Only had 6 in the game against Mali, and was none of 4 from the field in 19 minutes against South Sudan in game 1. So this has been her best game so far, and it really, and what she's shown here, I'm a little surprised by those numbers in previous games, because she's well balanced as a player, good speed, good extension, as we saw particularly in that second term when she had 9 of the 18 that Czechia were able to come up with. And
there's a lightness to her feet right now. There's a bit of a bounce to her, and as I said during the call, everything she does, she's doing really hard and at pace. And so I've been really impressed with that sort of endeavor that she's brought to because as you said, we didn't see that necessarily in the first 2 games.
Well, the good news for Czechia fans is that Yulia Reisingerova has rejoined us. Now you see Brazil, 15 of 30 against South Sudan was absolutely outstanding. And tonight, well, they were none of 3 at quarter time. And they finished up 3 of 9 here at the half, so 3 of 6 at that 50% clip. But because their bigs attract so much attention, i.e. Dimitris Dantas and Cardoso, it does open up the floor for their outside shooters, and we know they've got good outside shooters, although we haven't seen the best of Bella Nascimento so far in this game.
And that's the weaponry that Brazil have. They've got their inside focus with Dantas and Cardoso, although Dantas, we have to say, is an outside focus as well when she's got 3 from 4. But if they're being taken away, then it's right. You're right. We saw the young Bella Nascimento just light it up in her first game, and she shoots the 3 ball at a really good clip, 67% versus South Sudan and Belgium. So if they take that inside game and defense collapse, then it does. It opens it up for somebody like Nascimento.
Certainly, Dimitris Dantas at this stage, at the halfway stage of the tournament, 2.5 games into the 5-game campaign, certainly got her hand high in the air for All-Star 5 honours at the moment, because she's just proven such a handful, as South Sudan found out 2 days ago when she had a game-high 25 points, and doesn't also, without seemingly extending herself, seems to be playing within herself, but obviously she's just high quality and pretty to watch.
Well, you know, she's having a great game today, and it was the last game that Cardoso had a massive double-double, 23 points, 17 rebounds. So, you know, if one isn't doing it, the other one is. And if either of them aren't doing, then they've got the shooters. We know Concalo had 15 points. So it's been a really good contribution of who's scoring well on the night. If somebody's scoring well, let's get them the ball.
And on the opening game, it was Bella Nascimento with that 16-point haul, including 4 of 6 threes. That was an impressive third wheel to Dantas and Cardoso. And I like the response we've seen here in this game as well from Deborah. Lost a starting spot. But she's come onto the floor and had some influence. And there's the Czechia fans, number 22 right there in the white. That's the father of Emma Chikova. Spoke to him pre-game. His wife is here, and Emma Chikova's school buddy who's studying in Shanghai has made the trip here to Wuhan as well to support them. They bring a lot of noise. You'll hear them through our effects mic throughout the game, and they're aware of how important this game is. They'd love to see Czechia get back to the World Cup.
You did a little fact checking that Emma Chikova actually speaks 4 languages, and it was confirmed by her dad.
Indeed it was. I told him I feel a little limited and struggling with English at the moment. But a high quality young individual. So possession arrow with Czechia here. And they get it to Chikova. Shot clock to single digits. They want Reisinger over, working on Cardoso. Step back is short on the front of the rim. Let's hope that that elbow injury is just shaking her arm there now. Wondering if that is going to be a problem right throughout the game, or a slow pass. The bounce pass opened the door there for Hamzova. She was good enough to grab it, and now Reisinger can rush to the other end. But maybe she is being troubled by that elbow, and she's shaking it against her from close range. It's obviously less than 100%, and that's a worrying problem for Czechia. The Oliveira, she's ready to go from deep. Can't finish it. Hamzova did well there against a taller opponent to work at the advantage of her team. Holoshinska. Minute played, term number 3. Picks up the dribble. Reisinger. Barachkova. In fact, Hamzova outside. Chikova got a good look. Punches down the 3. So she's got 7 in the game.
And I was just about to say it's really important for Czechia to get the first score of this second half as we get underway, because you don't want Brazil to get any sort of extension on the lead.
Dantas, look inside for Cardoso. It's a wild pass there from Goncalo. Didn't give her much to work with, and now behind play, there's been contact here between Kamila Cardoso and Julia Reisinger. And referee Wojciech Liszka from Poland was the trailing referee, and it's called an unsportsmanlike foul. See Reisinger there, number 44. Well, it's nudge, a whole lot of. She hit the deck hard, and it certainly was worthy of a review. So the referees are going to take a look at this on replay, and as you can see, Julia Reisinger is not great at the moment.
She's really clutching at that elbow.
So that right elbow was a problem, being iced on the way out at halftime.
Left is the angle for us. All right, let's go. All right, go again. So number 10 is coming, and she's bumping with the left arm. Yeah, go again. I want to see it again. That's not a basketball play. That's an excessive contact. But though, to me, it does not meet the criteria for disqualifying. How does it look to you?
I agree. It's non-basketball play. Content consistent for me. It's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah. So after the review, ruling on the floor will remain as unsportsmanlike foul with 2 free throws and possession for red. Thank you. And the shooter is, show me again the number. I want to make sure I know the number. 44. Thank you.
So well handled there by Czechia from Poland with the assistance of Martin Davison from New Zealand. So an unsportsmanlike foul, but certainly not enough for a disqualifying foul. But really no need for that from Camila Cardoso, because they're already inflicting so much pain on Czechia just with the way they're playing, that there was no need for her to come up with that play.
I think she thought she was being held under the basket in that play before by Rysingerova. And so I'm sure that was a frustration foul.
He's 24 years of age now. The free throw is going to be taken here by Stopolova. So Rysingerova is receiving treatment at the end of the Czechia bench at the moment. And she is not great. Let's hope that that doesn't keep her out of the rest of the game. So we're tied at 46, 90 seconds played here in the third. And as you can see, the elbow is a serious problem for Julia Rysingerova. 27-year-old. Such an important component here against the Twin Towers of Brazil. Chikova, she's short with the shot. Loose ball, the Oliveira. And running Goncalo. Cemento to her left. Dantas the trailer. Now they've got that edge in the interior. With Rysingerova on the bench. But the outside shot comes from Goncalo. Can't finish it. Ball knocked down out of court. And Czechia are going to come up with it. They're going to have to work hard here.
Well, that's going to have to be their strategy, because Brazil were looking inside at every opportunity, every angle to get it into Cardoso. And the defense, when it did go in, has collapsed. It's leaving their outside shooters. But right now, Brazil is only shooting the 3 ball at 33%. So maybe that's just a tactic they'll have to live and die by.
A little over 2 minutes played here in the second half. Zova dribbles to the baseline, nothing on offer. Pospisilova, so impressive on the opening game against South Sudan. Here's Oleshinska firing off the mark. Well done, Chikova. Can only succeed in knocking it down out of court. She wrestles for the rebound there against Camila Cardoso.
Oleshinska averages 13 points, shoots a 3 ball at 40%. We see a nice steal there and an easy basket. That is exactly what Czechia need to take the lead in this game.
Back on top, 8 points to 5 is the equation. In fact, 8 points to 0 is the equation here to start this second half. So they burst out of the blocks. Make that 6-0 is the run since half time. And Brazil bring Martins into the game. Goncalo. Shot clock at 10. Cardoso wanted it, was well read and knocked down. Active hands from Barachkova. Oleshinska. That's support from Chikova. So they grabbed the momentum here and the lead. Comes over inside. Chikova had a mismatch. And they swatted it out of her hands. And she's clutching at her left wrist as well now. And good pressure from Barachkova. She thought she did enough in that back, but that's not the way the referee, Czechia, saw it. Hard to tell for us from that angle. The referee was right there. And Romana Potachkova should be happier with the response she's got in the first 3 and a bit minutes of this third term. And Brazil, as they did at the start of the game, just a little slow out of the blocks here. It was Czechia by 7 after 5 minutes of the opening quarter. And here after the break, Brazil just a little slow to get going once more. Dantas looking to change that. Rattled around, jumped out.
I'm surprised that didn't go in the way she's been shooting.
Ham's over with it, puts it on the deck. Key is open. She forces a path down low, gets the 2, chance at a 3-point play. They've scored 8 unanswered points here out of half-time.
What a great drive. You can just see how she drops that inside shoulder to the defender, makes contact, rides it the whole way. Eyes were up early and finished strongly, and now is it ready for an and one.
First trip to the free throw line for her in this game, and she makes the extra.
Well, now it's time for Brazil to just steady the ship, go back to what's been making them get to the point that they are at. We can see that Czechia is in a zone.
The Oliveira with it. Shot clock to single numbers as they roll it down now. Here's Cardoso. Good defensive pressure came from Chikova there. And they've got all the momentum here, Czechia, at the moment. Koleshinska with it. Uses Pospisilova. Now gets it back, top of the key. Long shot off the mark. Dantas the rebound. Feeding the Oliveira. 2-on-2 fast break. If she wants to make something happen here, she's got rebound support from Cardoso, but they came up empty. Ham's over, lost control, regathered, but then couldn't finish it. And reaching it over the back there. Good contest from Pospisilova. She's done enough to keep it alive in terms of possession for Czechia. It's been a busy start to the second half from the world number 17 as they look to upset the world number 9. Long ball wouldn't work for Yulia Pospisilova. Brazil getting nothing at the offensive end at the moment. We've played almost 5 minutes and they're yet to score in this third term. Martins puts it on the deck. Lost control under pressure. De Oliveira touch pass. Dantas wanted Cardoso to present, but she couldn't get there in time. And it's a poor pass at the feet of De Oliveira, and off and running again. Ham's over, wants to take them on. Good defensive pressure applied there by Brazil.
Both teams are working so hard, but getting no reward for what they're doing out there.
Deborah, De Oliveira. Now we have played 5 minutes in this term, and Brazil yet to score. Look inside, Cardoso, double teamed. Strong use of the body again. They go outside, and De Oliveira breaks the drought, but it's taken almost 5.5 minutes for Brazil to score in this quarter.
Well, good read by Cardoso. I think she had 3 defenders on her, but she was still able to make a pass out to her wide open teammate for a 3.
Gorachkova elevates, knocks down the shot and draws a foul in the process. And that's going to be a second personal on Cardoso, third team foul on Brazil in this term.
How good has Vrakova been? She has just kept this team on her back and gone, come with me. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get us across the line. And they have a 4-point lead right now.
None of one from the free throw line so far. Just a stoppage here. So it looks as though Romana Potachkova has asked for a review here. Brazil coach Pokey Chapman trying to listen in with what's going on, looking for an explanation as well. We're about to get one. It's a challenge from Czechia. They get 1 per game, and regardless if it's right or wrong, it is your one and only challenge.
Red, rolling on the floor is personal foul, and we want to review whether this contact met the criteria for unsportsmanlike. Can we see the play, please? Okay.
There you have it.
Can I see the hand held right, please? So she's closing out. Okay, now I don't see, the point of contact is on the foot, so I want to see maybe tight. All right, super, let's go. The question is whether the closeout is reckless. We can see from this angle, let's see hand held left. Okay, let's go. He's jumping the ball. I don't see the point of contact here. So it seems like only the main camera shows us the point of contact. Okay, let's go back. And play it. Okay, no other angle. based on this angle, I do not see anything that would stand for a reckless closeout. So ruling on the floor will remain as personal foul unless you see something differently.
I agree with you.
Okay, so after the review, ruling on the floor stands, personal foul, basket is good and 1 shot. Thank you.
Well, terrific work by the referees and also the video review people as well. Understand exactly what was going on there. It seemed an odd type of challenge because really they were going to get, maybe if it was considered to be unsportsmanlike, they would get possession back, but outside of that they were already made the shot and were on the free throw line. And as I say, so that is the one and only challenge for Czechia, even though they've got it right. Some jurisdictions, I know in our Australian league, if you get it right you get to keep it, but that is not the FIBA rules. Febra brings Brazil forward.
John, am I correct in my calculations that Brazil have only scored 3 points?
Indeed.
This quarter, sorry.
Yes, it's 1 bucket.
Dantes and Cardoso have been held scoreless so far.
Have not scored, so Czechia with the lead and momentum. 9-3 is the run. It was 9-0.
Oh my goodness.
Now they've got another bucket.
But Pachakova is just doing so many different, finding so many different ways to score.
This Cardoso, now that rattles around the rim and jumps out for her. They cannot get anything going at the offensive end. A foul called on Brazil here. Costa is going to pick up the foul. Going to be a problem for her.
So right now, Brazil is really caught up in a negative mindset right now. Everything is things aren't happening for them defensively. Czechia is getting some good baskets offensively, so they need to take a deep breath. Maybe even a timeout needs to be called soon, just to settle them down and get them refocused, because they came out and played so well in that first half.
Gorachkova being such a crucial part of all this, gets to the baseline, can't finish on this occasion, and the fight back from Czechia has all come with their main big Julia Rice-Singerova sitting on the bench with that elbow problem after the push and the unsportsmanlike foul from Cardoso. So just 3 points for Brazil, and we played 7 minutes here in this term, and they're struggling again with the shot clock about to expire on them. This is going to be right on the buzzer. It's waved away, in fact. It's half of the event, according to referee Martin Davison.
Good defense by Czechia to come up with that stop.
They're 1 of 8 from the field, Brazil, since halftime. Now a shot clock violation as well. They turned the ball over 13 times. That includes 6 in this period. So it has been a complete disaster since halftime for them.
Well, it has, and that was just an example there by not being able to contain dribble penetration and fouling. And so, that's something that Czechia keep doing that. They find themselves at the line now. They'll go every time that a foul's called. So containment for Brazil is really important.
Side hammer over to the free throw line. First time at the tournament for her. 50% free throw shooter for a club team. But right now, they are making everything happen. The margin out to 8. It's a game-high lead now. And another error from Goncalo. And the turnovers continue to mount here for Brazil. This is an extraordinary turnaround. And Brazil were dominating with all the momentum in the second quarter. To the stage now where with 2.5 left in the third, it's 15 points to 3 in favour of Czechia without their main tall player out there. Outside shot off the mark there from Gorachkova. They've just lost their way. They need to go back to a high percentage play here. Cardoso looks a little disinterested. They can't get Dimitri's Dantas involved. Nascimento, Dantas. Here's Cardoso now, working on Chikova. Did a good job to keep her at bay. She forces it up, and that's what they needed to do. Be aggressive, take them on. She's off to the free throw line.
It's exactly right. Cardoso has to try and get position where she wants that, and then go to work on Emma Chikova, who's doing a great job of trying to push her off the block, push her out of the dunker zone area. But Cardoso's just physically much stronger.
First personal, Emma Chikova as well. As you can see, Cardoso 13 and 11. She had 23 and 17 against South Sudan 2 days ago. Can you believe she had 10 points and 0 rebounds in the opening game of the tournament against Belgium?
Well, she's got another double-double now, Cardoso.
Risingarova checking back in, so that's a good sign because Chikova was a lone hand. And they'll need to get some minutes out of Risingarova, even if she is less than 100% with that right elbow problem. Need a big body out there against the talls of Brazil. Shot clock is single digits. They roll it into a down low. Single coverage against De Oliveira, and that's a very good finish.
Well, she set a good screen. Brazil switched on her, and she went straight down to the block, knowing she had that mismatch. 9
in the game now for Risingarova. And also off the ball again. Samarova went down, and a foul's been called on Cardoso. So that's a third personal for her. Costa already sitting down with 4 fouls. And Cardoso will have to pick up an unsportsmanlike foul earlier in this term.
Well, that was a product of Nascimento probably just moving a little bit too early. Didn't wait till the screen was set. And it was right in front of the referees.
So Cardoso taken out of the game. Mura checks in to replace her. Samarova picks up the dribble. Here's Pospisilova. Working to the baseline. It was almost an opening there. Dantas talked her out of it. Now the shot clock's going to roll to red digits for Czechia. Reaching it from behind there. Mura almost coming up with a foul. They're over the limit in this corner. And the corner 3 falls for Pospisilova.
They have all the answers right now. Czechia, they're not panicking as that shot clock is winding down. And what a great shot in from the corner for Pospisilova.
Well, this has been some sort of turnaround from them. They were 5 of 15 from deep. To come up with a 3 ball, they've got to the stripe.
Brazil just had such a dominant first half.
If you get it and there's no action, you set the side pick and roll here. The mirrors just want to stay space. We have rolls, we have lines for the shooter, okay? Come off of it with the dribble, but if you can pass to her, go get it, then you turn to the square pick and roll, okay? Hey, here's something.
Brazil coach Pokey Chapman doing a good job of remaining composed there at the moment because her team has lost their way. I guess there's no point her losing her head as well, but they've had 6 fouls called on them in this quarter, and they've been restricted to just 5 points and given up 20, and their lead at half-time has evaporated, and now they've got big trouble in the form of an 11-point deficit.
I'm not sure we would have picked that as we came out at halftime, but a long time to go still. We know the quality of team Brazil are. They're ranked number 9 in the world.
Goncalo for Dantas. He hasn't scored here since halftime. Gave it up, and look at Horachkova. Kicks outside. They swing it around the perimeter. Samarova fires. Can't connect. Now a chance for Brazil. Nascimento, she needs to get involved as well. Hasn't scored since quarter time. Dantas takes one to the face. Pospisilova called for the foul. It's going to be her second. Third on Czechia in this quarter. Dantas has taken just one shot here in the third quarter, after she was 8 of 11 at half-time. Quite incredible, the turnaround we've seen here. The Oliveira wants to use Dantas now. Pospisilova with her hands full, baseline. That's what she can do. We need more of it for the Brazil fans.
Exactly right, and that brings the margin under 10 points now.
Nice ball skills by Singarova from Saidhamarova. Vorachkova, one way, back the other. Mura tried to stay with the O-board, and the putback belongs to Stobalova. All right, at three-quarter time, they add another two, and that has been a big third term for Czechia. 24 points to 7. They turn around from a 4-point halftime deficit, and now they're going to lead here by 11 with a quarter to play. Three-quarter time in Wuhan, Czechia 64 leads Brazil 53.
You'd have to say Vorachkova is really leading the way for Czechia, 17 points, but defensively too, she's just anticipating. If we look at some of those percentages there, 29% for Brazil from the three-point line, and they are the best three-point shooting team in the competition to date. So that is something that has really let them down this game.
A lot of self-inflicted wounds for Brazil in that term as well, but take nothing away from Czechia. They were under the pump starting the second half. They came out meaning business, and they've got this on their terms now.
Well, they do, and especially since when we saw that Rysengerova went down and subbed out of the game, and you know, she's their lone really big player out there, and I thought, wow, that's going to be tough for them, but they've done a great job of putting the pressure right back on Dantas and Cardoso and not giving them any looks inside, easy looks inside. But Brazil need to go back to that formula. Now when teams are you know, you have to perhaps not just give it to them on the block, but maybe get a screen so they're rolling to the basket so the defense can't collapse. But with the defense collapsing, you've got to have some of your three-point shots drop. But right now, Czechia have all the answers.
Brazil had 9 turnovers in that quarter to 1. So that's what I'll say about those self-inflicted wounds. So, as we said at the start of the game, there may not be room in the top 4 in a qualification to the World Cup in Germany in September for both these teams. Certainly the winner will like their chances. And the Oliveira couldn't even restart there, and that was good hustle again from Vorachkova. Gave her nothing to work with, and her teammates were just a little passive as well. And look at Pokey Chapman. She can't believe this is all unfolding like this, given the way they were dominating that first half with their twin towers inside.
Well, it's come from their defensive intensity. They've really picked that up and caused some difficulties for Brazil.
Well, the 3 balls halfway down there for Yulia Pospisilova before it jumped out. So a chance now for Brazil. Goncalo rolls it down low. Chakova's got her hands full here, working against Amides, who muscles her way in from close range, adds to the tally. So 26 for her in the game now, closing in on the tournament best of 27 from Antonio Delara from Belgium. The baseline, slick ball movement. They get the look in the corner, but it's deep. Dantas did well to reel that in, but Goncalo lost the handle on it, and they're going to get it back. So it's a frantic start to this final quarter. Well, here's a chance now. Pospisilova decides to fire, hesitated initially. Now that's well done. Chakova with the O-board, putback wouldn't go. So Brazil are going to start this final quarter still with Cardoso on the bench, but she's heading toward the scorer's table now. Mura. Goncalo. Hasn't scored since half-time. Red numbers on the shot clock. Nascimento hasn't scored since quarter time, and that was good defensive pressure provided by Anyalova, who's now off and running. Takes on De Oliveira, who's called for a blocking foul. free throws to come here. Well, she was on the retreat, good position, but overdid it according to the referee Martin Davison.
Well, you have to say that Czechia's defense is leading them to some great offense. So we could just see the kick ahead, the fast break there, but it just is giving them so much confidence when they're getting stops to then go down to the offensive end and play really freely. They are moving the ball really crisply, player movement and ball movement.
First trip to the free throw line at the tournament for Gabriela Anielova.
You can see Cardoso back in the game.
But the margin is 9 in favor of Czechia. Well, the pass with too much on it from Cardoso, intended there for Kaka Martins. So the turnovers continue to mount here for Brazil. It's 2 in this quarter for a total of 18 in the game. And that's really been a problem for them. Just 6 turnovers for Czechia. As we see Julia Reisingerova check back in, Pospisilova sits down.
She's hardly even moving that right arm. That elbow that we can see is heavily strapped. She can still set good screens though.
Listen, they need her out there because if they can win here, they're a chance of getting through. If they lose, it's going to be very difficult. As Sangali grabs the rebound, running for Brazil. Down low, Dantas against Chikova, gets a double team. Good move from them. Martins goes again. Dantas, and they've stepped out of court, and she has, so turnover number 19, including 3 in this quarter, and we've played just a tick over 2 minutes.
Well, Czechia are taking the tack that whenever the ball goes inside, they are going to double, they're going to triple, they're going to leave the shooters open on the outside, because right now they're very hesitant at shooting the 3-ball.
Almost all offensive identity. Brazil, just 7 points in that third term, lowest scoring term we've seen at the tournament. Polishinska rolls it into Reisingerova, working against Cardoso. Tough shot baseline. Still looks inconvenienced with that right hand, the elbow, I should say. John Carlo. Here's Dantas, who was so dominant in the first half. Can't get involved at the moment. John Carlo, overdue. Can't connect there for Brazil. And 4 of 16 from long range. And they hit 3 of those triples in the first half. 3 minutes played in the final. Outside shot off the front of the rim there for Anielova. So they're having trouble offensively as well at the moment. Czechia just 2, in fact 1 free throw in this quarter so far. Cardoso.
When things are going bad at the office, John, things are going bad. Cardoso had a great seal, and then the pass was just a little too ambitious, a little too excited. Still a long time left in this game, but 10 points. Neither team are really getting any sort of answers on the scoreboard right now.
21 turnovers for Brazil, including 5 in this quarter in 3.5 minutes. Offense is really sticky. Vorachkova, Reisingerova, they exchange passes, and she fires this time short on the rim, and a chance for Brazil and Goncalo to come forward.
Well, Czechia haven't scored that much, but Brazil just can't seem to capitalize on the other end, and that's not going to get it done either.
That was off the mark there from Sungali. Polishinska with it. Both teams their offensive problems at the moment, but a high percentage play from close range. Pospisilova now with 5 in the game.
Good recognition by Pospisilova, she was being overplayed. Nice little backdoor cut.
First field goal of the term for Czechia. Took almost 4 minutes. You see the foul, Hamsova there. Dimitis Dantas with the contact, and second personal for Hamsova. So 5:46 to play. And it's a 12-point lead biggest that we've seen any stage in the game. Brazil's biggest lead, 7, came in the second term. Outside shot, Nascimento, she's off the mark. Hasn't been her night shooting wise either. Now 1 of 5 from the field, none of 3 from deep. But just 2 points for Brazil here so far in this final quarter. We've played almost 5 minutes. Inside pass, well timed. It was a good one from Holishinska to get the bucket to Singarova.
Nice little pick and roll action.
Brazil desperately need a bucket, and they go to the captain, and Dimitri's Dantas provides it. 28 in the game now for her. Single best individual scoring performance we've seen here in Wuhan in this tournament. They still have plenty of work to do. And there's Holishinska being fouled by Dantas, and that's her 3rd personal. Aggressive work here from Holishinska. Celebrated her 29th birthday 2 days ago, but unfortunately they came up a little short against Mali, who won 77-64. But Holishinska, the 29-year-old, most experienced player on this team. Spent time in Spain and Hungary and University of North Carolina as well. Currently playing in Turkey with MTAC. Averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists a game. A bit of everything from her. Now, I'm able to get to the free throw line in the first half. They were 1 of 3 at half time, Czechia. And now they find themselves 6 of 11, so they've improved in that area as well. So Brazil need to get busy. Ellen Nascimento, Dimitri's Dantas. Cardoso wrestling down low here, gets a double team. They swing the ball around the perimeter, and they've turned it over once more between the legs of the Oliveira, and it has all come unstuck for Brazil here.
I mean, it was the exact right pass to make. An extra pass in the corner would have been wide open, and then it just falls through the legs.
Some of the credit to the defensive pressure that Czechia have applied. They had to pick up that tempo, the defensive end, and they've done it. Brazil haven't been able to go with them. And just a little more energy about them, as evidenced there by the attack for the loose ball. There's Saidamarova firing. She's off the mark. Well done, De Oliveira grabs the rebound. They find themselves 14 points down and needing a bucket. Nascimento. Continues to be a quiet night for her shooting wise. Now 1 of 6 and none of 4 from deep. And Brazil with 4 points in this quarter and just 7 in the third. It's dried up offensively and they can't find their identity.
Well, Czechia just need to be good with their shot clock management. Unless you have an easy transition fast break basket, then use the clock, get it through hands. Brazil right now, I think you could get them off balance pretty easily because they're just not, you know, in sync right now.
What a turnaround this has been at the offensive end for Brazil. 53% from the field at half time. Now dropped down to 43%. And they can't buy a bucket. So Holishinska steps back, fires, and there was contact after the event, and she's going to be called for the offensive foul here, Holishinska, I believe.
The kick out on
the shot. For kicking out on the shot. So certainly her leg did extend on the shot. And referee Edgar Ceccarelli from France was right there. Here it is in replay.
Yeah.
So 3.5 to play, and Brazil just not doing enough at the offensive end. They need to find a bucket and find it quickly. Dimitri's Dantas decides to fire over the top. It's off the mark. Cardoso kept it alive. De Oliveira likewise for Brazil. Shot clock to 10 once more. Sangali, penetration is good. Too hard off the glass, and well done by Singarova against multiple opponents, and pitching in now, foul going to be called on Isa Sangali, and that's 4 on Brazil in this term. And this has been a very good display from Czechia. Wondered how they were going to get themselves back into it at half-time when the Twin Towers of Dantas and Cardoso were dominating with 36 of the 46, 34 of the 46 that Brazil had. But they've come out since half-time with a game plan that's been great at the defensive end, and Brazil can't go with them.
Well, just watching Reisengerova on that last defensive play phase, as soon as the ball left the shooter's hand, she was blocking out Cardoso, being physical, not giving her a chance at getting any sort of easy O-board.
Inside the last 3 minutes here. Started this term with Czechia leading by 11. It's now 14. And Brazil has scored just 4 points after having 7 in the third. Oleszinska goes to work, adds to the tally. It's a game-high 16-point lead. What do Brazil have left in the tank? Dimitri's Dantas, double team, tough shot, couldn't get it to go.
Again, a great block out by Reisengerova on Cardoso, not giving her any breathing space.
Pospisilova takes it from Hamzova, goes to Oleszinska. Now decides to fire baseline. That's off the mark. Hamzova got a piece of it. It came to Cardoso. And pushing the tempo here, Goncalo aware of the desperate situation for Brazil. Oh, the contact there on Dantas. And foul is called, so Dantas will go to the free throw line where she's 3 of 4 so far in the game. 28 points, 11 rebounds for her, along with 3 assists. You see the foul there on Reisengerova. That's going to be her 3rd personal. 3rd team foul on Czechia as well. This has been a terrific individual display from Dimitri's Dantas. She had 22 at half-time. And now continues to build here with 30, including 5 of 6 from the stripe. But they find themselves down 14 inside the last 2 minutes. Oleszinska, Borachkova. Again, happy to take time off the clock as you would in these circumstances. Picks up the dribble. Wanted to Reisengerova down low in a mismatch. And the extra pass was delightful, but Pospisilova couldn't finish it. Going to whistle off the ball here, down in the low block. Wrestling Cardoso and Reisengerova. They've been at it for most of the game, and it looks as though Reisengerova is going to be called for the foul. That's her 4th, and a 4th team foul now. As you can see on the replay there was plenty of contact from both players. Now that right arm is going to release some more treatment. You would think another ice pack going on there, because they've been able to weather the storm and get to a winning position here. Goncalo, De Oliveira pulls the trigger on the 3, all the bottom of the net. Much needed bucket for Brazil. Too little too late, one suspects, though. Hamzova, Chikova. Now Oleszinska. Lob pass, Chikova from close range. Oh, that was a neat finish.
Well, it was. She showed a lot of poise there. Just rolled it in.
First score in this quarter for Emma Chikova. Outside shot off the mark here from Goncalo, kept alive by Sangali, and they get the Oliveira look again. Deflected, so here it is. And De Oliveira, hard at work there. It's fouled by Chikova. Free throws to come. But 54 seconds left on the clock here. You'd think Czechia have done enough. Plenty of ball with a hand, but body contact. Drew the whistle. And Manu De Oliveira to the free throw line. One of 2 yesterday.
Sorry, John, I'm sure Czechia will look back at this game and compare it to their game against Mali, where they just didn't seem to have this energy that they've had in today's game, and especially in this second half when they've upped the ante defensively.
Indeed. Mali won that 77-64 2 days ago. And they just really or positive, set the tone. Of course, no microphones allowed in the huddle during timeouts in the fourth and final quarter. So I'll remind you that still to come today. Next up, it's going to be Belgium against Mali. It'll be a very entertaining affair. Belgium undefeated, Mali 1-1, but their loss to China on the opening night was full of merit. And then a little later this evening, we're going to see China host South Sudan. As you can see, that third quarter, 22-7 was the equation in favour of Czechia. And well, Brazil just couldn't get anything happening. Credit the defensive pressure brought by Czechia, though.
If we said that, you know, perhaps South Sudan with their losses right now are going to struggle to make it into that top group to challenge, but we now have in this little group of three, Mali, Czechia, and Brazil. Mali's won a game. Czechia's now won this game. If Brazil beat Mali, they'll all be tied at, you know, there's just so many different scenarios out there left to be played in this tournament, and who knows if one of them could sneak a win against China or Belgium, and if South Sudan can sneak a win over somebody else. So lots and lots of basketball still to be played.
China far convincing in their 13-point win over Mali in the opening game, and then lost by 15 to Belgium. Outside three ball on the bottom of the net for Holeshinska. That will be enough to put this to bed. 14-point margin inside the last minute. And Brazil, the waywardness with the ball in terms of turnovers just continues to perpetuate here. They've had 7 turnovers in this quarter, and back-to-back triples from Petra Holeshinska.
Well, she is shooting the three ball at 40%. She's been a little quiet earlier today, but what a way to end in this fourth quarter.
Oliveira penetrates. Goncalo likewise gives it up to Sangali, who works it down low. And Cardoso is fouled off to the free throw line. And Cardoso had 12 points at halftime. She's got just 14 at the moment. First trip to the free throw line in this second half for Cardoso, after she was 8 of 10 at halftime. So she was called for an unsportsmanlike foul for roughing up Rasingarova in the middle stages of the third quarter, and mentally she just hasn't recovered. Czechia fans behind us are pretty excited about the equation as well, because this has been a valuable win for them. And timeout call by Romana Patachkova, the Czechia coach. 14 seconds left to play here. Brazil just 12 points in this quarter, only 7 in the third. Czechia, this has been a good response after they were beaten by Mali 2 days ago by 13 points. Had only 64 in that game, so to get to 81, just short of their tournament high of 89 against South Sudan on the opening day. But this has been more professional display that we've seen from them. As you can see, Brazil's bench scoring non-existent. But they certainly had all the momentum and looked the goods at half-time, Brazil. So full credit to Czechia to turn this around.
Well, you know, you talk about a professional outfit, and I think this is a professional timeout by Patachkova, because she'll probably advance the ball. But if we go back to that scenario I talked about, where there could be a three-way tie with numbers, it may come down to percentage then. So every single point is important. So they'll set up a play here and try and extend this margin even more.
It's a 29-point loss in the opening game for Brazil, followed by a 15-point win. And for Czechia, 37-point win over South Sudan could prove valuable if we do come down to the numbers. All losing by 13 to Mali. So Holeshinska restarts. Poshpishalova. Look for a high percentage play here. Chikova rolling to the hoop after presenting the screen. They get it to her now. Reaching in there, and a whistle provided as a foul is called on Dimitis Dantas. Her fourth personal. They're over the limit, so free throws to come here for Czechia. 8 of 13 from the free throw line, including 3 of 4 from the stripe here in this final term. Chikova's first trip to the free throw line in the game. 78% free throw shooter in the Czech Republic for a club team. Gets it back on the buzzer. Yes, nice finishing touches. Off the missed free throw, Czechova adds the extra, and it's going to bring a very impressive performance to a conclusion here.
Well, actually, we've got a timeout here, John. You know, we talk about that percentage, and Coach Pokey Chapman had called the timeout before that missed shot, so she wanted the same thing to try and set up something to you know, keep this margin as close if percentage does come into play. So they'll advance the ball as well and have but only 0.8 of a second. So really just a tap in the air into the basket.
Well, Brazil have been restricted to just 19 points here in the second half. They had 20 in the first quarter, had 26 in the second quarter, and just 19 since then, including 7 in the third. And they look, well, certainly disappointed is an understatement. But full credit to number 17 Czechia, an upset win over the number 9 Brazil in the offing here. And Dimity Stantas, 30 points, 12 boards, is going to not be able to deliver enough for Brazil to get across the line here. 0.8, so the Oliveira will restart. It's going to have to be quick release. Preferably without a dribble, you would think. Oh, Cardozo rolled to the hoop. Dantas, that's after the event. So the conclusion does arrive as expected with Czechia pulling off a terrific comeback win. They were down by 4 at halftime, but they've monstered Brazil in the second half, and they get home in the final analysis here by 19 points. From full time in Wuhan, it's Czechia 84, Brazil 65. Just 12 points for Brazil in the final quarter, and a 42-19 second half from the Europeans has got them in the driver's seat as they look to punch their ticket to the World Cup in Germany in September.
Oh, what a display in that second half by Czechia. Not only piling on the points, but the defense to keep Brazil to just 65 points after scoring 46 in the first half. So massive effort by them, and yeah, they will walk away from that, especially after the disappointment of Mali and the way they played yesterday. So, or sorry, the day before. They will be very, very happy with that result. But we see there Dantas, 30 points. 22 of those came in the first half, just 8 overall in the second half. She was so dominant, it looked like there was just nobody out there that could stop her.
Terrific last quarter from Petra Holeszinska as well. 16 points, including 10 in the final quarter to steer her team home.
Well, she was instrumental in nailing a few of those shots, but also I thought throughout the game it was Borkačkova that really held that Czechia team together. The way she went out there and had a lightness to her steps and aggressiveness, everything she looked really focused with.
Some of the better action from the fourth quarter. Good closing period for Czechia, 20-12. And as I mentioned, Petra Holeszinska with 10 points, knocking down a couple of triples as well. And brave effort from Julia Reisinger-Ober as well. Inconvenienced and hampered with a nasty elbow injury. And she toughed it out and gave them the presence they needed inside.
Well, she did, and we hope that she's okay. She can recover for the rest of the tournament, get some treatment on it. But, you know, in that second half, you didn't even feel like, to me, Czechia was in control the whole time. It didn't feel like Brazil had any sort of comeback or any sort of spurt where they put Czechia under immense pressure. Czechia just controlled it. They made the shots when they needed to and upped their defensive intensity.
And that defensive intensity resulted in 16 turnovers to Brazil in the second half and just 1 for Czechia. That was a massive part of the game. No surprise, Veronika Vorachkova is our MVP of the game. 17 points for her. She really set the tone earlier, kept her team in that first half. She had 9 of her 11 in the second quarter when her team were just trying hard to stay in the frame against Brazil. And they have not only done that, but they powered away in the second half and scored a convincing 19-point win. So Czechia 84 has defeated Brazil 65 here. Still to come today, it's going to be Belgium and Mali next, and then China and South Sudan. For now, though, we'll take a break, and we'll be back with more when game number 2 gets underway as Czechia moved to the top of the table with a 2-1 record. And certainly Brazil's chances now, well, they've got some work to do and are going to have to come up with an upset win later in the tournament if they are going to punch their ticket through. We'll have China in the last game and next up against Mali. So a lot to look forward to. Trust you've enjoyed that game. Well done to Czechia. And we'll be back here in Wuhan for the next game.